So,
We're gonna do
hi,
great.
everybody. Welcome to the Stigma-Free Society Wellness Chats with Nisha. I'm Nisha Khare, the co-founder of Human Biography and Women of Wonder. I'm a director, producer, registered clinical counselor. And through this Facebook Live event, I'm representing the Stigma-Free Society, which is a Canadian registered charity that aims to reduce the stigma of all kinds and has a focus on mental health, and they promote mental wellness education for youth while providing resources for educators, school counselors, parents, and guardians. And the society's goal is to create awareness of the various stigmas that exist in the world and develop an understanding of the challenges that numerous people face and encourage people to foster acceptance of themselves and of others. So to learn more, please visit stigmafreesociety.com. And so today I'd like to welcome a fabulous guest, Akshay Gupta. Hi, Akshay.
Hi, Nisha. Thank you for having me.
Well, wonderful to have you. Thanks for being here. So I'm going to tell everyone a bit about Akshay. Akshay Gupta is an art lover and blockchain enthusiast. He's completed his Master's of Technology, Entrepreneurship, and Innovation from St. Mary's University in Canada. He's also a business mentor at the University of British Columbia. So Akshay was severely bullied while at university and developed acute anxiety and depression. And then, as a young professional, he suffered massive stress, burnout, and anxiety while working in the financial and consulting industry for 7 years. So he found support through visual arts, art therapy, and yoga, which helped him overcome his difficulties and also to thrive. Really happy that you found your way, Akshay, and his personal experience with mental health issues fuels his passion for making evidence-based visual art and art therapy treatment for anyone who wants to feel better and experience happiness. And his personal story has inspired him to build Bit Happier. So I'm really excited to hear about your journey and how you overcame so much, but also to learn about Bit Happier. So welcome, Akshay.
I'm so excited, Nisha. Thank you. And that was quite an introduction, but yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, no, it's great. And so, Akshay, why don't you tell us, start by telling us a bit about yourself, your story,
Yes.
kind of like where you came to where you are.
Right. Yeah. So, well, I was born in India. Was born in north of India, and I did my economic honors from University of Delhi. And ever since growing up, I loved plane. Like I'll go to the airport and looked at the plane taking off and landing. Um, yeah, after my economic honors, I came to Toronto to complete a course in finance, and then job opportunity and my love for ocean took me to Halifax, Nova Scotia.
So
And
cool.
yeah, no, it was just absolutely one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. And yeah, I was really happy in the East Coast and was there for almost 9 years. Worked at Scotiabank, worked at a couple of consulting companies. And after completing my master's, my intuition called me to the West Coast,
Yeah.
and I moved to Vancouver a little over 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and yeah, ever since growing up, like I absolutely love yoga, I love meditation, and I love life. Just expressing and living life to the fullest.
Oh,
And here I am in this beautiful city of Vancouver, very excited and honored to be in this beautiful place.
well, it's fantastic that you have had such an experience and lived in such interesting places, to go from Delhi to the East Coast to the West Coast. It's very adventurous. And so, maybe tell us a bit about your challenges that you faced. What did you experience with mental health challenges while at university?
Right. So growing up in India, like, and then I obviously I completed my undergrad at University of Delhi, and I went to through a bullying experience, and it was definitely a very stressful situation. It it felt, there was no way out. I felt I'm not able to express myself,
Yeah.
and it was like a pressure cooker situation. And I mean, the stats are just ridiculous. How many people in the world? I mean, United World Health Organization say 1 out of 5 people suffer from depression, stress, anxiety, bullying.
Yeah.
For me, going through that experience, it was of course was a very hard time, but again, it was also a blessing in disguise, because
Yeah.
while I was going through that experience, I discovered and learned about uh, art and art therapy. Because as a kid, because university was such a hard time for me, I would go to museum and galleries all by myself and spend hours and hours. It started off, I just didn't want to go to university, but then I fell in love with art. I mean, I'll go to a museum and just um, immerse myself with that art experience. So this is where my love for art and art therapy started,
Hmm.
and that is some of the very few things that really helped me to overcome my stress, anxiety, and depression, and also it gave me a ray of hope of
Yeah.
what that future can look like.
And so was it that you, as you had spent time in, art galleries and around art, knew that art was the way for you, or did someone, a counselor or someone say, hey, you should try art therapy?
Nisha, that's a good question. So, I mean, ever since at a very young age, like I would paint. I've done watercolor classes.
Mm.
There was an inclination, but I mean, I would go sporadically. But I think at a university, it became to a point that I would just go and I'll go by myself, and I felt drawn to it because I didn't want to be seen when I was at university, and B, I was in New Delhi. I mean, that's a small city of 36 million people. So,
Huge.
I mean, just having that personal space where when you're going through that hard time, sometimes there's so many emotions and thoughts
Yeah.
that are going on. You don't want to be seen. You go through that turbulent time. So
Yeah.
to me, it logically became a place for me to go. And also, I would also go to the airport to look at the plane taking off and landing, and I'll also draw the plane.
Mm.
So that kind of became an expression for me to uh, uh, convey my anger and frustration, and at the same time getting excited and feeling that hope for the future.
It's interesting. I have been talking about this a lot lately with people, and I think it really comes down to that whatever we feel, if we're feeling down or sad or disconnected from ourselves, that it's so important to even make a list of what makes me happy, where are the places I enjoy myself, like is it an art gallery, is it in nature, is
Yes.
it like in the bath, like where are you happy, and then go do that and spend time in those places, whether it be like daily or weekly, but important to know what lifts you up and fills you up so that you can get through those tough times. And so,
Absolutely.
you have any advice, what would you say to other university students who are struggling with their mental health? Because I know that's a very real thing, like I struggled with it when I went to university. It's a big change, everything's different. And yeah, what would you say to them?
Well, I mean, the stats are quite mind-boggling. According to the American Psychology Association, like there's up to 75% teen they suffer some type of stress, anxiety, or depression.
Yeah.
The other startling number that I came across is that more than 4,000 people here in Canada alone commit suicide, because and most of them are primarily between the age group of 15 and 34, and it's the second most leading cause of death. So my simple advice, I have 3 point formula where I talk to and advise it to anyone, and the first is to be compassionate, to to be mindful of each other's presence. to acknowledge that how people are going through such a difficult time, to acknowledge, so that's the first advice I give to the students. The second advice I give is to find an emotional support group, a no judgment place, a group where find that emotional support group, find that place where you can truly express your emotion, what you're going through. For me, going back at university, I mean, I also joined a yoga and a meditation group.
Great.
And I felt at peace because I was able to express my thoughts and emotion, and I was able to express my inner thoughts and feelings and the times I'm going through. So having that emotional support group would be very important. The third thing I would say is don't compare your life with the what's happening on social media. I think especially in today's generation, the life of Instagram and TikTok, the amount of time we are spending on social media, I think there's a lot of comparison that is being done. People have started comparing their life with other people's life. So I think if we can not live in the virtual world and just be more mindful of our presence and our identity, that will be important. And the fourth and the last is to look at the different assessment tools that will help you understand that, what are the emotions you're going through, what are the feelings you're going through, and having that perspective that, okay, this self-assessment tool can assess that I'm going through this hard time or that I'm going through a difficult time. And these are some of the things, including art therapy or cognitive behavior therapy. These are some of the things that can really help me to feel better.
Yeah. That's great, because all those things do help. And it's just first, being aware of like something's different, something's wrong. I'm not feeling the same. I don't feel good. I'm withdrawn. I'm not like finding as much joy in the things I used to find joy in. And so I think, when a university student starts, there's just so many big changes that it can be a bit overwhelming. But if you start to feel, like that things aren't right, then it's good to like look at those things or take an assessment or talk to somebody. And do you think that there are unique mental health challenges faced today by young professionals, perhaps compared to before?
Yes, I absolutely. So we are living in very interesting times, and partially because of the reason of what technology has done for us. I mean, technology has definitely has made our life easier, but at the same time, it has brought a lot of complexities in our life. We are talking about people are very connected, but I think there are a lot of people, they are lonely, they are disengaged, and it has left a big open vacuum in our today's society. And if we look at the stats here, I mean, it's just mind-boggling. Like 1 out of 5 people in Canada here alone, suffer from mental health crisis or will suffer from a mental health crisis. I mean, those numbers are quite startling. And the whole idea of success and looking outside for happiness has put our generation in a very unique spot. I mean, the thing is, what I learned, partially one of the reason why I was, I went through a hard time and I was bullied because I was letting other people control my happiness. I was relying on an external stimulus to make me happy. But the fact is, if we all can understand where we are, understand the problems we are going through, acknowledge them, and look out for help as and when it's required. So the challenge is, yes, we have all this technology making our life easier, but at the same time, we are disengaged. So finding the right balance will be important.
It's tough, right? Like social media, online tech, all of that can take us away from the things that matter. And yet so much of what we do is online. It's actually, I've started this thing with my partner called Women of Wonder, and it's an online Zoom connection,
Yes.
but it's all about helping people find their authentic self and then connect and create community. Because like you said, so many people are alone, and like we need to use these tools for good.
Yes.
Right. And be aware. And what do you think, like, is there anything that universities could do to help support the mental health of their students or improve it?
Absolutely. I mean, so university has this extraordinary role to play at this point of time, because they're building the future of our society.
Wow.
So I personally feel what Stigma-Free Society is doing. I mean, that's an extraordinary work around mental health, around being compassionate towards each other and understanding each other's perspective. So talking with Andrea and Dave Richardson, co-founders of Stigma-Free Society, I mean, the mental toolkit that has been created by the society is amazing.
Fantastic.
People, I mean, like universities, colleges can access those toolkits to equip their students with the understanding of getting help when they need it. But I think even more important is if our stakeholders are equipped to understand the crisis that's going through in our society. They have the tools, they have the self-assessment tools that can equip them and educate kids and help them when they actually need it.
Yeah.
So having a very open dialogue and an honest conversation around what's going on with their mental health. So equipping them with the tools will be very important, I feel.
Yeah. And then having the professors, the teachers, the parents, like having them understand what to look out for. And, I remember being at university and I was talking to one of my professors in the specialized program, and it was like pretty intense and amazing. And I was talking to her and I was upset. And she said, "I think you're depressed. I think you need to talk to someone." And I was like, "What? Like, what do you mean? Like, what's depression? I don't know." And I was so thankful that she recognized it and helped me by saying, like, "Okay, you gotta talk to someone. And, let's figure out how to do this." So it's like, it takes a team, it takes our whole community. And it's so valuable, right? Because like you said, so many kids experience it.
Yes.
And if we don't set them up from the beginning to understand it and recognize it and know what to do with it and how to tap into self-love, then they will carry on their whole life in a state of unhappiness.
And Nisha, I also feel, breaking the stigma, that's so important. Like, I think the whole idea of not talking about what you're actually feeling makes the situation worse. According to World Health Organization, 75% of doctor-related visits are stress-related. Stress are building up and up.
Huge.
People don't, this expectation, they don't release it. And I think if as a society we can come together and talk about it openly. For example, Elon Musk was bullied when he grew up in South Africa. And I mean, I think breaking the stigma and telling that all these successful people, if you look at their past, I mean, it was an extraordinary past. Kate Middleton, Rihanna, there's so many examples, all the celebrities that were bullied. So I think if people can have one of their role models, who went through this hard time, and they can come out and talk about it openly, I think that can really help all of us.
No, it's so important. I agree. And it's interesting because I used to feel that, you've got to hide it when you're down. People shouldn't know that you're down. And now I feel when I start to feel down, I tell people, I'm just not feeling so good. Like, September has hit, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm telling the people close to me, there's a lot. It's a lot for me. It's a transition, and I'm trying to manage it, but I can see the signs. I can see the signs starting to just wanted you to be aware. Just wanted to let you know so we can talk about it, so that I don't go back down that slippery path, down that slippery slope. And so I think by people being honest and sharing, we can actually help each other. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. This is something that everyone experiences, and it's just to different degrees. And like, why wouldn't we be there for each other? And
And
so, yeah, go ahead.
no, go ahead, Nisha.
No, I was going to say, so I want to say, like, enter a bit happier. So why don't you tell us a bit about like how your experience led you to create Bit Happier?
So, just reflecting on my own experience, by the way, so what is Bit Happier? Bit Happier, our vision is to elevate global happiness and help people with their mental and emotional health using evidence-based art therapy and visual art. And our platform is being built on blockchain and AI to really help where we can understand your personality and give you a curated solution that will make you a bit happier.
So fascinating, right? That you're using. So, like, give us an example. Like, what would someone would go onto your site, and like, what would happen?
Right. So right now, as of right now, anyone can go onto the site bithappier.com. You can get access to the art therapists we have on the platform, or visual artists, and access, connect with them and engage in an art therapy session, or help express your emotions through engaging with a visual artist. But in the very immediate future, as we are fine tuning our platform, we will have an opportunity where people will be able to complete assessment tool, and based on that input, we will be able to provide them with solution that will help them feel a bit happier based on their personality type, their background, their how they perceive life, and what are those things that can really help you to elevate your mood. It's surprising. One of our team member and part of our team is a doctor. She's a neuroscientist, and the interesting thing is that there are a lot of people on antidepressant.
Yeah.
There are more than 3 out of 10 people here in Canada alone are there on antidepressant.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, and I think if what we love here at Bit Happier is that we are through visual art and art therapy, we can tap into the subconscious mind. You see, there are a lot of impressions we have that are deep rooted in our personality. The way we react to the situation. So if through art therapy we are able to access part of your brain through subconscious mind, so that we can remove those deep rooted impressions and help you access more serotonin to make you feel a bit happier.
Wow, that is fantastic. And art therapy works, and it's also like so accessible the way you presented it, right? That someone can even just go on, find someone to work with, and through art, through creativity, through creation, as humans, that is an outlet of expression. And if we can express ourselves, and we can like work through those feelings and
Absolutely.
feel better. It's just something that is, it's a natural thing. But yet so many people don't do that. So many people don't turn to art, or maybe think that art is when you're young, and I'm older now. I'm an adult. I don't, but art has a place for us throughout our whole life. And so what inspired you to create Bit Happier?
So for me, Nisha, I mean, my own past of going through such a turbulent time. I mean, the way I was bullied. I mean, I was not able to connect. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I was at such a stage where nothing made sense. I just felt like a pressure cooker situation, and I felt how art and art therapy, drawing those planes and going to the airport or close to the runway, that gave me hope, or going to a museum and a gallery. I just felt the calmness. If I can look at the painting, I mean, I was able to connect with the painting, and it brought me a lot of peace and serenity. And even through my professional life, because I worked at Scotiabank, Mercer, different multinational companies. I mean, the amount of stress, burnout I felt, and even then, after that, I'll make a point to go to an art gallery, even in Halifax, or anytime I travel anywhere in the world. Even right now, being in Boston, New York, Switzerland, the first thing I'll always do is I'll go to an art gallery because it
Wow.
makes me feel grounded. I feel calm. I feel at peace. So after doing some research, I just found out that how actually visual art and art therapy, there's a lot of science and facts behind it. And if we can use this evidence-based art therapy and help people with their mental and emotional health, how it helped me, um, that was a source of inspiration for me to create a bit happier. And funny enough, as we have embarked on this mission to change people's mental and emotional health. Brussels in Belgium has become the first city in the world where psychiatrists has prescribed museum visit to all of its patients. So it's
Wow.
officially there are a lot of science and facts, and that how visual art can help you with anxiety, depression, stress, and how it can reduce those stress level and make you feel a bit happier.
That's amazing. That's so amazing. And so anyone, if you're feeling something down or just not feeling great, or it's a tough transition, or it's feeling dark, and do things like go to a museum, right? Like go to the places that make you happy. And it's the creativity it uplifts us and makes us feel good. And so what are some strategies that you use, like in addition to going to museums, that really help support your mental health on a daily basis?
So I religiously practice four things. So the first thing I meditate and do yoga every day.
Oh,
Um,
fabulous.
yeah, I'm a Reiki, like I've been doing Reiki, I chant. That really helps me keep me grounded. The second thing I do is, of course, I'm very close to art and art therapy. So going to museum gallery and, of course, painting at times. The third is I have my own support group. If there's anything, I have close group of friends, and where we are in constant touch about any thought, emotion, and feeling I have and I'm going through. I just talk about it openly. And the fourth is gratitude and self-love. Just reflecting at how grateful my life is, reminding myself that I'm so blessed. I'm living in Vancouver. God has given me so many extraordinary things.
Yeah.
And so those are the four things I practice on a daily basis.
Those are all very beautiful things. And I'm sure that, people might say like, okay, like that's great. But if you do practice those daily,
Yes.
you will see a shift, right? You'll see a shift in your life.
Yes.
For better.
Absolutely, absolutely. So actually, Nisha, we are actually starting a campaign soon, and we will go around and ask people a question: what can you do today that will make you a bit happier? So I'll ask you that question, Nisha. What will you do today that will make you a bit happier?
I know for me, what would make me happier is to go for a walk by the water. That is an automatic, just makes me feel good and helps me ground. Yeah. And then or if I'm going for a walk by the water and even listening to, some kind of like soothing meditative music, it just like adds to the next level. And I also know that for me, before I go to bed, doing the meditation that helps me sleep is a real bonus as well. So, even thinking about those things makes me smile.
Yes, absolutely. And if we all can be mindful of each other's presence and generous and live life to the fullest and acknowledging the ups and the downs at the same time,
Yeah.
I think we all can come together as a society and lead a very meaningful life, helping each other grow and support each other's goals and dreams and grow together as a society.
Yeah, I 100% support that. If we can, I believe that if we can stop and understand what helps us and makes us happy, then we can then give ourselves self-love.
Yes.
Then we can then go out into society and be the best people we can be and be good to each other.
Absolutely.
And support each other and
Yes.
lift each other up. Because if we're going out in society with bad feelings or negative feelings or not loving ourselves, then we're going to spread negativity.
Absolutely.
And really, what do we need right now? We need each other. We need ourselves.
Right.
And I think it's important to just feel, even if you can make yourself feel a little bit happier every day,
Yeah.
life gets better not only for yourself, but for the whole community. And, I think this is a beautiful cause. And how can people find out more about Bit Happier, Akshay?
Well, if they just Google Bit Happier, are all the social media links on Facebook, Instagram will open up, and they can visit our website, www.bithappier.com. And we are actively engaging with the stakeholders in the society. And my team and I are here to listen different suggestions from you. What would you like to see? As we are building this community around mental health and emotional well-being. But we are here for the society, and together as a society, we have so much to learn and to grow. But www.bithappier.com, they can find us, or personally, they can connect with me on LinkedIn for any thoughts, suggestion, advice.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Akshay. And so as we wrap up here, I just want to remind everyone, do something that makes you a bit happier today, whether that be something with drawing or painting or whatever it is that helps you create something, macrame, knitting, anything.
Or even going for an ice cream at McDonald's. That sometimes I do.
That makes me happy too, and my kids. So I just want to say, Akshay, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being on the Stigma-Free Society's Wellness Chat with Nisha. It's, together we can make a difference. We can build our communities. And before we go, any final thoughts you'd like to leave our audience with?
No, I really want to acknowledge the extraordinary effort Andrea, Dave, you, Nisha, and the team at Stigma-Free Society is doing. I mean, you guys are just going out and providing tools and resources for rural mental wellness, student mental health, and senior well-being. I mean, it's extraordinary, and just to acknowledge the ups and the lows in life, and just be open to the idea of hope, and be positive and be compassionate towards each other. I think we all are here on a beautiful journey called life, and let's make the most of it.
Yes, let's make the most of it together, and let's enjoy this journey. Whether there are highs or lows, it's all part of the experience. So thank you, Akshay. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We will see you in 2 weeks, and everyone have a beautiful day filled with creativity and expression. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Okay. God bless. Bye.